They were like, "Ben, can I buy Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Bro, you've been asking me that question since Bitcoin was 30,000. Stop asking it and just get some, Jesus." Because price will keep going up. To change the regulatory approach of the US from regulation by enforcement maybe to regulation by encouragement or something. I don't think it's a bull market, official bull market yet from our perspective. We see a lot of institutions. So, this type of institution purchasing power that drive out the price. Because Bitcoin will cost crazy amount, millions.
Yeah. I'm going to say MiCA and you're going to say...
I love it.
No way. First things first, I'm George and you're Ben.
Yes.
And your family name is?
Joe.
In Chinese, and my family name is Buhnici.
Buhnici.
Now we're friends.
Now we're friends.
So thank you, Ben, for taking the time. Yeah. One of the very few top CEOs in the industry taking interviews, speaking freely to the audience. You're very a free agent, let's say. You're going around the space talking to everyone. I could see that in the past 2 days. Are you always this happy, or is it just because it's all-time high today?
It's multiple factors. For sure, all-time high is making it extremely exciting. I think this conference is one of the only conferences that's pumping instead of dumping. I think in the industry we have a saying that whenever a conference happens, Bitcoin will dump. But today actually is the opposite. So really happy for that. Yeah.
So coming back to your business, to your startup, Bybit is the second largest centralized exchange, and it's still growing, of course. How do you see the evolution of your company up to now? Because you don't have the highest headcount by any measure, so you're not a top, let's say, hirer in the space. How many people do you hire now?
We have 1,700 latest. So with that count, we're actually quite lean. If you look at the top 5 global exchange, Bybit is probably one of the leanest. So we carry a startup cultural. The management style is very direct, very open, and also we try to maintain a very flat organization, meaning that...
What's that?
Well, any employee in the company, even if you're an intern, you should be able to get to me with 2 layers. So the maximum 2 managers in the middle. Another thing we have is we require the managers, even myself, to be extremely hands-on. So we all know the details of the operations, of your scope. With our managers, we expect you to know exactly all the detailed things. Okay. For example, this whole event was run by the events team with 1 person. Of course, working with external teams, but that 1 person will be able to tell you what cup we're using, the color of the mattress, the mat. You notice the service people will wear apron with the logo on it. That's all so every little thing is made by decisions, and she probably knows all of it.
So for me, it's mind blowing that a company that lean, 1,700 people, manages to be so fast, so agile. So we always talk about this in the industry, how startups need to be agile and stuff like that. But still, in comparison to number 1, Binance, and number 3 and 4 and 5, you're number 2 now, you're one of the leanest. How
one of the
most
leanest. I think Binance probably have, this is what rumor says, 5,000 to 6,000. OKX probably have double of our headcount. I think the misconception is you need a lot of people to move fast. It's actually the opposite. You need less people to move fast. So that you save, because a lot of time and energy is spent on communication between the layers. And also the managers just simply needs to be hands-on. But this requires sacrifice. So Bybit team is extremely hardworking. And so that we put in a lot of hours. I guess our work culture is very... We have meetings in the weekends, at night. It's quite common. So, yeah.
Okay. That sounds a little bit Elon style. I've heard that mentality before. I don't know how long you can take this, because you're based here in Dubai. People need to live their lives, go out, do stuff. How many hours do you put in every week?
Well, if you ask myself, I have generally 12 to 15 meetings a day. I start my first meeting from 9 a.m., finish 7 p.m., I have 2 hours with my family, and the meeting starts around 9:30. until 12.
And you're actually available.
Yeah.
So we requested the interview, and they made you available.
Yes. 2 days ago, I arrived Dubai. I had 13 interviews that day.
Wow.
With multiple partners and all that.
So how are you looking at the near future? I'm going to push you a little bit into the market side. I need to understand how do you see things going? Because from where I'm looking at things, 80K, but where's the retail? Where's the people?
Yeah, so from our observation, retail hasn't got too excited yet. So I don't think it's a bull market, official bull market yet from our perspective.
Not a bull market yet?
I think we're still building.
It's all-time high.
Yeah, I think we're still building it. Building up getting ready. I would say probably when Bitcoin hits about 100K. Because we don't see a lot of these other community talking about it, right? And I think Bitcoin was kind of alongside with many stock market to kind of digest the news with Trump administration, and then the expectation that he would do something to change the regulatory approach of the U.S. from regulation by enforcement maybe to regulation by encouragement or something. You know, so that's the hope, and I think with that, the ETF inflow became really massive. So the Bitcoin ETF was driving up the price, I think. But retail is coming in, I think. Soon.
So for the average consumer, let's say for the average person to understand, we see money from the big companies now, but not from the people. So that's crazy. It was quite the opposite in the past bull run.
Correct. At least in the past 2 cycle,
yes,
we see that typically it's the altcoins that's rallying, and then Bitcoin's always behind, right? And because that's the crypto people gets excited first. Yes. They find a new thing, a new rate staking, DeFi, or whatever topic that can generate yield or excitement, and then gradually the mass catches on, and then the Bitcoin start to follow. With this one, is Bitcoin start to rally, and so I think it's really the kind of the ETF, the non-crypto people and the institutions that are getting more excited about the prospect of crypto and blockchain. Yeah.
So how much is the ETFs building up from the past 2 years? How much is the Elon and Trump effect on the price?
You mean the recent price rally?
Yeah, the all-time high from today.
Yeah.
Because again, looking at volumes on the exchange are not moving that much. Only the price is going up.
Yeah. No, we see a lot of institutions. So, you know, this type of institution purchasing power that drive out the price. But retail, we're talking about individual accounts becoming active. One of the key figures we see is account haven't been active for the past 12 months and become active again. That which was what we've seen in the last circle. But right now, I think it's getting there. It's getting started, but we haven't seen massive people coming back all of a sudden get excited. Yeah.
So it's still early.
I think it's still early. There's still time. No, I've been telling my friend, they're all scared. They were like, Ben, can I buy Bitcoin? I'm like, bro, you've been asking me that question since Bitcoin was 30,000. Stop asking it and just get some, you know, Jesus. Yeah.
Did you get some?
Sorry?
Did you get some?
I'm always using DCA. Bybit have this DCA bot. It's one of the bot I love. And every week I just do like, you know, a little bit, and I forget about it, and then it just keep on going. So that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Would you tell me your average price in India, because you can check?
Well, because I terminate the bots once. It's like you set for a half a year, and then it gets terminated. You restart again. I think with my recent one, I probably 50,000. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
We're talking about institutions. So you're doing DCA. Are the institutions doing DCA in a way, looking at those ETFs when there was days when the price was flat or dropping a little bit, but inflows were positive? So companies, big institutions buying Bitcoin. Do you feel like these companies and institutions, the big players, are looking at this market and say, it's still cheap, we're gonna come in? And from our understanding, there's not much liquidity left in the exchanges. How much liquidity is still there in Bybit if people ape in on Bitcoin right now?
Well, first, they don't just ape in that mess in that way, right? And liquidity, I would say, has been much better than ever. The exchange infrastructure is now a lot better. So the overall liquidity is a lot stronger. especially with all these institutions. So when we talk about institutions, you have many different types. You have the crypto native ones that are doing market neutral strategy. They're just moving liquidity from here and there. So liquidity is not something that difficult to achieve. If we need liquidity, we will just find market makers. We give them incentives to give us, let's say, certain liquidity. We will ask them the between the bid 3 and the ask 3, we need how much at how many 80% of the time you need to give me this liquidity, and they will quote us a price, and we can get the liquidity. So liquidity is not a major issue. It's that it's who's buying it and how are they buying it. But as far as ETF, I think the main battle exchange, the main exchange that's happening is Coinbase. Because it's the US ETFs. Yeah.
Because of the US ETFs.
Yeah.
Are there any institutions buying on Bybit?
Yeah, so we typically get the tail ends of the flow from prime brokers and things like that. They would take an order from, let's say, Fidelity or BlackRock, and then they will pass the order into different exchanges. Because obviously Coinbase cannot digest all these ETF flows. So gradually we get but not from the first-hand source, maybe the second or third.
Do you see that moving the price?
Yeah.
Do you actually see when those orders go in?
So price discovery typically happens either on Binance or Bybit. So we would be the price discovery place for the Bitcoin, whatever. Yeah.
Would you tell me how much liquidity is today on Bybit for Bitcoin?
Relatively, I think if you ask the bid 5 and ask 5, if you add them together, probably around every single second you have 10 to 20 million liquidity on either side, so you can either buy or sell.
Okay, that's not much.
But it restocks every second, so you can buy and then it restocks.
So the churn goes on.
Yeah. And then you buy it from a market maker. They would correspond that order into Binance, into Coinbase, and then you kind of move around. So you will never be able to, let's say, dry up my liquidity. There's no way, because the moment you buy, and the market maker will be moving liquidity from other exchange to me again, and you will see it's piled up again.
Okay.
So unless you buy everything in the world, so it's impossible, basically.
But could you give me an estimate, a rough estimate of how much Bitcoin is flowing in the exchanges today? You are on the very few people that can answer such questions.
I actually don't. It's a lot. It's also because...
Is it in the millions?
Oh, no, it's a lot more than that, I think. Because you can, the moment you start buying, and then the price will go up, and then the liquidity will come more. So there's this legend of the Bitcoin not being so much of it. So there's not that much available Bitcoin. Much of it is lost in all kind of wallets that are encrypted over time. So I was just curious, how much Bitcoin is actually flowing in the system? How much flow? Actually, that's a good question. I don't have that metrics, because that's not really that's the active wallet and not active wallet.
Because I was just thinking, I don't know, crazy things happen.
Yeah.
Trump goes into office and he says, I need a new secretary of, I don't know, crypto, to do a Bitcoin stockpile, and we're gonna buy 1 million Bitcoin right now.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
And then another million, and he's gonna dry out the market. What about that?
He would never be able to do that, because the price
there's a limit. Oh, okay.
Because the price will keep going up until the point that he can't even afford. The US won't even be able to afford it. So that's the whole argument. Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Can you please explain that to the average Joe out there?
No, it's same as they say. Petrol will never dry up, because the less you have, the price will go up, and then people will start to use alternatives. And the last barrel of petrol will never be used because it's so expensive.
It's going to be inside of a museum.
Yeah, it would take maybe 1 Bitcoin to buy by then, because Bitcoin will cost crazy amount, millions.
And by the time when we're going to get to the last Bitcoins, the only exit from Bitcoin would be Bitcoin.
But Bitcoin will be very expensive. Yeah. So if someone's trying to buy it up, we have 21 million Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But 1 million is still okay. If he's trying to get a lot, then.
So if there was only the last million flowing, how high would it go? Actually, I know it's a very basic question, but just think about it.
It depends on how many people are buying, yeah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's drying out, everybody's stockpiling. There's only 1 million Bitcoins in the system flowing.
Millions, probably, millions.
millions.
Oh wait, what, that last Bitcoin?
No, that's last million Bitcoins flowing.
Yeah.
In between countries, because countries need to trade, need to exchange goods and
Probably
services.
millions
Per Bitcoin.
per Bitcoin. Yes, that means whatever you hold worth a lot. So hold your Bitcoin. That's the lesson.
Thank you for the advice. Great advice. I'm gonna come back to the exchange for a second, because we don't get a chance to talk so often to people like you again.
Okay.
So I appreciate the honesty and the openness. How much technology and how much AI do you actually use to be able to keep up with only 1,700 people?
A lot.
I would bet on that. But
Yeah.
what is a lot? And define a lot for me.
The overall competitiveness of the platform is powered by technology or the product that we built. For example, our customer support system is completely, we code ourselves. We write all the product, we write all the details, so that it's very easy for our agent to answer a question, to check a ticket or a complaint of the user. Let's say you come with a complaint or one of the orders, immediately my agent will see it, and then they have the tool to investigate it. So rather than asking finance or talking to internal audit or risk team, they have the capability to cross departments with their own tool to be able to solve a problem. Also, even for customer support, I'm just staying on that topic, we do have an AI bot that we use ChatGPT as a base, but then the language and the data is completely our own data, so that it's smart enough to be able to even predict the question you have. So if you just made a P2P order, and then you come to Bybit, the Bybot will immediately sense with your IP and then your browser to find out your UID and be like, hey, are you coming here to ask me about that P2P order you just made? And then you say yes, and you say, okay, these are the transactions, tell me what's wrong with it. Your complaint might be, I haven't got a coin. I paid, I haven't got the whatever.
Okay.
And then we're like, okay, then they will either help to summarize the question with all the data to my agent, or it will try to solve the problem of the client on its own.
So I asked about technology. First thing, you started talking about customer support. Yeah. So it's not about trading, it's about customer first.
So that aspect, no, trading also. We have one thing called Trade GPT. This is something only Bybit has. People has been using it a lot because one of the key functions is it grabs all the data, but it tells you what this project is in a rating system. So what it does is, whenever Bybit lists a new token, people get very interested. What is this? This new token called, let's say, grass. We just recently listed.
Or feet.
Yeah, or feet. Yeah. So they go to this feet, and then it gives you like how you play a game, a character with the strength, intelligence, speed, everything. We give the same, but on tokenomics, investor background, the problem it solves, Twitter mentions. And then if you want to key in your Twitter account into the TradeGPT, it will tell you the people that you follow, how many is actually also following this project. There's one thing. And then, so it's very smart. And then it gives you a very concise description of what it is. Okay. Which exchange is available and things like that. And then further, you can ask to do a technical analysis. And then the bot will ask you, give you a Fibonacci or MACD of that thing. So it's quite smart.
So there's a lot of AI involved.
Yes.
I'm going to get a little more technical than this. Yeah. And I'm going to ask, so what's the LLM underneath? What are you training on? What's the large language model for this that you're using, the base?
TradeGPT. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT,
yes,
which version?
Actually, this detail I don't know. It's my developers.
Because from what you're saying, it's actually pulling information in real time. It's creating a context window. Yeah. And ChatGPT is not known for a large context window. So we
need to provide that. Okay. ChatGPT only provides the language model. It's smart enough to understand your language and answer you in a human way, right? That's all it does. Yeah.
But are you using the API or running your own?
I think it's both. But we also need to put all the token price, even the Bybit funding fees, the Bybit purchasing power into it. So it's smart enough to tell you how many people in Bybit is looking into this thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're actually trying to fix the customer experience first.
Yeah.
Using a lot of AI
Yeah.
and technology.
Yeah.
But also for trading, from my understanding.
Trading, this is one part you can never help the client to do.
Yeah.
It's right. I mean, of course, there is the bot, like I mentioned, but it's DCA. It's very formula decided, and client know what it is. But at the end of the day, the trading part is a human thing. I think it can never be replaced, unless you. Of course, you can have some other strategies that's trading on by bot.
Of course,
but
you're trading against other people, so
right.
It's psychology in the end.
Yeah.
You can automate up to a point. I would give you, let's say, kudos for a simple fact that whenever I open the Bybit app, my balance refreshes automatically. I don't need to drag the screen.
Yeah.
That's the one USP that works for me.
Okay, good.
So,
it's interesting. I never thought about it. But I thought this should be, of course,
the first thing when you log in, you want to see your balance.
Right.
So the Bybit app is the only one that refreshes on its own. I can see that whenever I open
Really? The other people don't do it?
They don't do it.
That's strange.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
One kind request, and I'm going to ask the audience if they can come underneath and give more requests, because from my understanding, your people are listening and taking a lot of feedback from the community.
Yeah.
I would like to be able to see easier my less transactions, my less trades, to find them more easy when I'm looking at a ticker, or let's say, I don't know, the place where you trade inside the app. I'd like to have bigger buttons, easier to see my less transactions.
Your last transaction, okay.
Yes. And also to see the medium price that I bought at, the last price I bought at, stuff like that, because when you trade a lot, maybe you might forget where you came in.
So you're talking about spot market.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll look into it, yeah.
So, next thing, I'm going to say MiCA and you're going to say...
I love it.
I wasn't expecting that.
No, Bybit is getting MiCA. We're getting actually MiCA and MiFID. So hopefully by end of the year, we will be able to launch the year. So what's going to happen is with the MiCA, it's going to happen by end of the year. All the exchange who comply and get the license will have a new site. For us, it's going to be the Bybit.eu. And then the European users currently on the global side will have some time, maybe 3 months, to migrate into the new site. But we're getting a MiFID license, so that with MiFID license, although it's still unclear, but what they're saying is 20 leverage, which is more than enough for a lot of the users.
Well, would you recommend leverage? I don't know.
Sorry, no, under MiFID, there is leverage, so it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the spot, everything will be the same on the European side. Yeah.
Same, but not the same, because not all projects will be let's say MiCA.
No, MiCA they have their limitations on stablecoins, but with other tokens they're pretty open.
Okay.
So even now, the European exchanges, you can see they have many tokens.
So same app.
The app might be the same app, but when you log in, it will become the European version of it, or there's going to be a European app that you have to download.
Any important features that I'm going to miss?
I think it's that 20 to 100 leverage, that if you are into high leverage.
No, there's other ways to hurt yourself.
There's other ways to hurt yourself. I think they don't like Web3. They want us to remove the Web3 on the app. Everything else is pretty free and easy. Yeah.
They're holding on to the C part, the centralized thing.
Yeah. They don't like the Web3, but which is strange, because I'm like, okay, if you don't want me to provide Web3, are you gonna ban MetaMask? Are you gonna ban all these wallets? It's very strange. I don't know how they're gonna control it. Yeah.
So tell me about the card. Everybody's asking about cards. It's not an easy question because not even Binance has a card.
Bybit card is the best crypto card. It's the highest cash rebate. It's got amazing features. It's got this auto earning feature. If you're not spending, you get like a 12% yield.
But when? When is it coming?
So for Romania, we'll work on it. And at least I can promise by MiCA, you should have it for sure. You're part of EU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, still. So
you did the exit. Okay, good.
so we're actually recording almost mid-November. By the end of the year.
Yeah.
Good. We
good.
got some headline.
Cool.
Ben.
Awesome.
Ben Joe. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank
like
you.
and share and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next one.
Awesome.